There's no Oracle. There's no Shadow Demon potential for being picked up. They've already got their offlaner, so we're not going to see a Brewmaster. Basically, all that's left that has like consistent dispels is the Invoker. So we'll see if RSG opt to go for that. Exilern's a pretty decent Invoker player in his own right, so could certainly be a possibility. And they've got a decent amount of stuns as well to set up for things like the Sunstrike. But speaking of things like Sunstrike, Wraith King, he's certainly one of those heroes that's able to withstand a lot of that.
The Wraith King pick does make it a little bit better of a Invoker game, though, if RSG do want to go down that route. I think you are a little bit concerned about not having an excellent hero, though, to play with Inkswell. So it's always nice to have that. We saw the Ember banned out from Apes, which is one of his best heroes, but a great combo with Grim as well.
I mean, you can't go something like a Queen of Pain in my eyes against this, right? Because Shadow Strike is going to be useless. You know use your ultimate on a Wraith King, and then what have you got left? So it needs to be that consistent damage. Ember Spirit probably one of the better ones. Storm Spirit is still a possibility for sure, and it's something that's able to break the Spirit Siphons. You can scout through trees for Monkey Kings quite effectively. They're just going to go the Phantom Lancer, which honestly, again, I don't hate. Wraith King isn't going to be able to do much against him until he's level 20. Omni Knight does nothing against it. Monkey King a little bit. Death Prophet a little bit, but it is a really good PL game so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a concern now with how Apes are going to be able to deal with the Phantom Lancer. I think Leshrac soon to be banned out, because that would be quite scary, especially with an Omni Knight to buff him up. But I think for Apes, it's just you got to run over this game. And I think Wraith King does have a window versus Phantom Lancer, which he can do so. Of course, Aghanim Shard is a great way to be able to counter the Phantom Lancer, but the Wraith King comes online a little bit early in what the PL does. So my eyes...
Still? With the diffusal change?
That's a good point, actually. I have not seen the matchup with the diffusal change, so I have seen PL. What really diffusal allows Phantom Lancer is just show up to a fight a little bit early, but he can't be in the middle. He'll throw lances out, he'll run around with illusions, but he still can't get directly in the middle. And I think that's pretty obvious in a game where you have a Wukong's, an Exorcism, and a Wraith King early, and probably a high damage dealing hero on Apes. So I'm in agreement actually that the diffusal being picked up faster probably changes it a little bit, but I still think Wraith King has a way to end the game early versus PL, but it's a very narrow window.
Yeah, and it like even an Omni Knight, right? Like if you can get on top of Omni Knight, you're laughing. You know, we always like to throw back to a lot of these most recent tournaments and also tournaments in the past. TI9 is one I want to reference here. And that was with, I believe, Mind Control playing the Omni Knight in the position 3 role. Thompson went for the infamous Diffusal Gyrocopter, and it wasn't just the Bristleback that it nullified, it also was the Omni Knight. His influence was also heavily reduced because you are so reliant on just consistently putting out these spells onto your targets. So I feel like PL, if he could just get onto the Omni Knight, he has no way of dealing with all the illusion spam. Early on, you're not going to be chunked down. And yeah, maybe once you take him out, then you can look to move in on to some of these other targets as well.
So do you think there's a potential for them to flex the DP to the 3 and go for the Leshrac? Because it looks like RSJ think it's an offlane still to be picked.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see the Lesh. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what exactly they have left to play against it, is my only thought with like what they were going for with these bans most recently. I think it's a great Lesh pick.
Dude, double down on mana burn and go for anti-mage. I really want AM2 to be a thing. I'm joking, but like...
Wait, don't you still just Invoker into this?
I think you do. I really think you do. Is Conquer there? Conquer's ban. Invoker is one of the better ways to deal with Leshrac. It's a great Invoker game, but I guess Alacrity isn't the greatest with PL. Again, you don't have someone with Inkswell. Ooh.
Okay, something a little bit different here. Looking to try and keep the space between the Lesh and yourself. See what they're able to do there on Exilern.
Do you like this Wind Ranger? I don't know how much I like it.
I would have preferred the Invoker. Maybe they're just thinking that they need someone to get a little bit more active, like you said, with the PL. I think the diffusal timing makes it not as bad. Like, of course, you can't fight into a Leshrac, so maybe they were thinking, oh, well, they've kind of caught us out with this Lesh pick. PL can't fight at all, even, you know, in the role that you were mentioning before, just throwing out the Spirit Lancers and that sort of thing. So they need the win range as someone like active, as opposed to someone like the Invoker who can be a little bit more passive at times and isn't able to go for the super early kills. Wind Ranger, and we've seen time and time again, Exilern able to get a lot of those great initiations, huge influence in a lot of his games, is able to pick off a target to be able to start things out. But it almost has to be UK that he looks to go for, right? Because you use the shackle onto any other target, UK's in position, Heavenly Grace, they're saved. So I wonder if it's going to be like a fight in stages, right? Like you use the shackle shot onto the Omni Knight, you follow in through with the Mars, the Grimstroke, and a power shot to try and take him out. And then the time that you can use the second shackle shot is where you actually want to go and use that focus fire because you really don't want to be using your ultimate just for a pos 5.
But it's concerning though, because the Wind Range are very good against physical damage. You have the evasion coming through from the Wind Run, but you are going to need a very early BKB to be able to deal with Leshrak's damage, because more than likely Lesh is just going to be probably protecting his Omni Knight, because that, like you said, is the real key component. If you can kill off the Omni Knight to start, then it can really open up the fights for RSG. But I feel like it could be difficult because Lesh deals with him quite well.
Yeah, I'm not honestly crazy about the Wind Ranger pick. Now, for those that aren't aware, Aries and I have a bit of a prediction war going on, and at the moment, I am 5 wins ahead of him, so certainly needs to make up some ground. I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to be the first one to be able to go for my pick here.
So kind. Okay, well, I chose Apes.
I think...
So if you choose Apes, you're copying me.
Oh, man. I was literally about to say Apes, man. When I say I'm going to do something and then you jump in, don't jump in like that. Keep those words out of your mouth or I'm going to Will Smith you, okay?
Oh. What the hell, man? You can't slap me on live TV.
Can and will. First land, it's happening.
So you're off air. We were speaking about me shaving your head because you were bragging about how your hairline wasn't receding at the age you are. And
at my ancient age.
Yeah, you freaking boomer. Alright, we've got to have a fight breakout. Oh, nice doppel dodge for MKS, but Roger's in a whole world of pain, and I don't think he gets out of this one. He'd love to give the kill over to Leshrak, enabling Mamang Dai with his start. Oh, don't miss again. Alright, there we go. Lesh finds it at Apes. Get our first blood. Oh, I'm off to a good start.
We're off to a good start.
Oh, so you did copy me.
When I said I was going to go first, and you just jumped on in. Seal wouldn't have died. That's all I got to say. No, I'm kidding. No flame there to Roger.
I don't know. It sounds like a flame, my guy.
It's just a bit of bants, you know?
Oh, yes, just a bit of bants. All right, well, Dreamer Soul's got an awesome Wraith King. So I don't think I've seen this. He must have played a lot of Wraith King games to have this.
Also, just have a look on the top side, talking about Roger. He has gone for the Quelling Blade. So he's just looking to assist with cutting a lot of these trees, preventing the Monkey King's impact in the laning stage.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. And I think it's also just the value you get. If you cut down the tree once and get a kill, it's almost enough value. You're probably giving a kill over to a core. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's well and truly an item that you should go for. And I think people are going to start playing it very, very similar to the Tree Protector, where you come out to the lane and just try and cut away as many trees as possible before the creeps hit. So I personally a big fan of how Roger and MKS have at least started this lane, but concerns though for RSG, of course, given over first blood to Mamang Dai onto the Leshrak, and he has a game that could just take over. It's not like it's a Leshrak with no one behind him. It's a Lesh with an Omni that can buff him up as well, and that is really scary.
And, you can tell that they're going to be relying on a lot of these consistent stuns coming out, right? So just to be able to disrupt that a little bit, it might mean that you can, get off a Yulsep, to get off that BKB that you need just to ensure that you're not being chain locked down. And even just against the PL, right? It is a good PL game, don't get me wrong. But Delol, with his Spirit Siphon, he's going to be able to follow the real PL even after the Doppelganger.
Is it a good PL game? Because Lesh is the biggest counter, I think, in the game.
It was a good PL game until the Lesh came out.
Yeah. And I'm still trying to think if the Wraith King can actually deal okay with him late. I think the cleave talent makes it a lot better at the 20. And I'm intrigued on the item build. He has armlet queued up, so it looks like it's not going to be some crazy do-nothing gradients build, which honestly I like a lot considering the fast-paced Dota that we have through the past couple of weeks.
Not sure if I'm a great fan of UK's build, though. He's gone into the Purification. I feel like that's a bit of a bait. You know, it costs about the same as the Heavenly Grace, but I feel like whenever you've got a Wraith King paired together with you, you want to get maximum usage out of the Heavenly Grace. Like, it's true strength heroes. You cast the Heavenly Grace onto the Wraith King, you're also buffing yourself up as well with the recent change in 7.31.
I'm just intrigued on which one's a little bit better to sustain in the lane compared to the other.
Maybe they were just feeling like they needed to secure a couple of the range creeps super early on, but I mean, you've got the Hammer of Purity for that, so I don't think that should really be an issue.
Sure. We do see it's a very good start though to Xiao Yu on the Mars, and like you were speaking about in the draft, this is someone that has been getting, I guess, enabled a little bit more. They're just securing like Xiao Yu's hero super early on in the draft, and then we've seen he, along with Xiao Bonbon and Seal. Honestly, I can't pick out individuals. RSG just looked exceptional, but I think Xiao Yu in particular, with a lot of his offlane heroes, have been a big reason of the position they're in at the moment for RSG on the ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. Xiao Yu and Exilon, they're probably the two big standouts for mine. But they're definitely going to need some big games again if they're going to be able to take this one and remain undefeated.
A little bit of battling going out top. Elul has run into the Phantom Lancer. A nice use of the Phantom Rush, able to reposition and break the tether. So this is also not a lot of action we had. It was just at the horn we found our first blood, and honestly nothing too crazy. You anticipating a lane where we might have our second kill? Actually top lane, yeah, Roger. Level 2 in the Brain Sap, so it's going to get a little bit of health back, but they still have the Crypt Swarm from afar as MKS. I don't know if you can win this man fight, especially with the Jingu stacks now online for Lim. He won't even need one more right click as Delul gets to double. Ooh, you don't even have to answer my question, Danog. We just see it like that.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to the fact that I know Delul is playing this as a core Death Prophet, but he went for the 2 points in the Crypt Swarm first at level 3, which, I mean, RSG do not have a kill lane up here. You are not getting a kill with these two heroes super early on, so he just wanted to emphasize the fact that, all right, let's try and burn out a lot of the
Dream Missile is going to be in trouble. Inkswell finds a connection. Let's hope he can cut through the tree line, and Dream Missile actually goes back on their heels and sidesteps the Stroke of Fate as well. Beautifully done from the stand-in.
Okay, still going that second point in the Purification. I'm honestly really surprised. I mean, you're up against 3 things that apply a debuff to you, so you get even more value with the Heavenly Grace when you use it to dispel.
Do you have enough mana for 3 abilities in a lane, though?
I go like 1-2-1 and then max out the Heavenly Grace, and if I'm against heavy physical damage, then I'll put a point in the Guardian Angel, but if not, I know a lot of people like the Hammer of Purity max, but I feel like you really do need that Purification early on.
Also good to see UK playing as well. I know pre-season there was a little bit of talk about his injury and if he'd be taking a backseat, but you're speaking a little bit in the pre-game lobby. He said he's playing through pain. He said he's getting old. He's only 22, he's only my age. MKS is just dropping solo. He tried to juke with the illusion, but like you said earlier, if you have the Spirit Siphon out on the real Phantom Lancer, they will know exactly where you are located.
Nice move by Roger, though, to drag the entire creep wave away, and they want to make sure that the siege creep goes down as quickly as possible. It should, maybe, yes. Just enough to be able to get it, but it results in another kill, and still got a couple of seconds left on the Exorcism. Not enough to take the tower, though. But
they got
Dire is going to make sure that he's there.
And all while this is happening, you've got UK just soaking up some experience mid. So really nicely done from Apes early on. They get a first tier 1 tower while you have your Omni Knight. Just making sure he's across the map, helping out bottom, and now getting a little bit of me time at the mid lane.
Has to be careful, though, with a lot of his positioning. I mean, he's up against Exilern, who, to be fair, doesn't have the Javelin just yet, so I think Omni Knight should be just fine for this lane. And even just, like... I'm a big fan of going the Javelin, and then you can assemble it into a Maelstrom just to be able to farm a little bit, but then you can, disassemble it just so you got that early BKB timing still. But against the Omni Knight, you kind of have to have the Maelstrom, just because he's going to have the Guardian Angel. Whoever you go on, either you get the Heavenly Grace off to interrupt the stun, and then they can look to escape, or you just Guardian Angel, and you have to rely completely on the magic damage component.
I have a fight break out if the rune is top. And it is. Uh-oh, who's gonna get it? Silen would love a haste to be able to combine with a focus fire. Without the Javelin, though, is going to be lacking damage, but that's where Xiao Yu can get online. Drops the arena from the river. Beautiful positioning from the Mars's rotation as RSG strike back. Might still cost him the life of Xiao Yu as Delul. Something to fear. One more right click and they don't miss on the high ground, so Delul already dominating on the position 3 Death Prophet.
He made sure by the time that the attack landed that he was back up on his own high ground, so there was no chance of it missing. Very nicely done there by Delul. And it was so close, right? I think UK, maybe he's just not as familiar with this Omni Knight because he was using the Heavenly Grace before a lot of the stuns landed. I think you can afford to do that when you've got something like the Leshrac, but I don't know, like when you're up
MKS is
against
getting
all these
charged
stuns,
down. Let's see, Mumeng Dai needs to land the stun, but be able
you see that?
Yeah, the Iron Branch drop.
Tree blocks the Lightning Storm.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going for the Split Earth. I thought that was the cast animation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a big brain play from MKS. Who's not having a good time though, is he? Bombing that worth out of all the cores. MKS would love a little bit of a pick me up in the jungle. Still scouting him out. Gonna be easy. They'll start with the Boundless. Try and bring him down as low as possible before the Doppelganger. Or just able to help with the retreat. And Xiao Yu does have the arena if they feel it necessary. But he finds the Soul Tree right next to the bounty. And MKS gets the kill. So there's the pick-me-up. Alright, nicely done.
It's a little bit. And, I mean, to be fair, Dreamercell isn't having the most amazing time either. He's just about 700 net worth ahead, but he's still 5th in terms of all of the cores. Now that he's got the armlet, though, make his life that little bit easier, but I don't feel like he wants to join in on any of these team fights prior to the phase boots. You still are a little bit worried about getting kited around.
Excellent.
What are you anticipating to be the item build for Dreamercell after the armlet?
Honestly, kind of want to see him go a Blink Dagger and then just look to try and get really aggressive, go back in onto the back lines, take down some of these squishier supports instantly with just your insane base.
Oh, Xiao Yu. Is that a really good early game, but missed the spear? And now that's arena completely wasted, and I don't know if they can defend the tower without the arena.
To be fair, I don't think it would have mattered, right? UK was in a good position right behind Delul, so he would have just instantly been able to get off the Heavenly Grace. Now that a lot of those stuns have already been used, he pops the Heavenly Grace onto the Death Prophet, just giving that extra little bit of regen and allowing them to secure the tower. So that's a much better play coming through from the Omni.
And with all that attention put on mid, Dreamercell was able to take a free tower bottom as well. So now all tier 1 towers have gone the way of Apes. Scary, very scary, because feels like you need to be in a position where the Leshrac isn't getting as much as what he is. But I guess this is kind of to be expected though with a Wind Ranger. Like, you are very slow until you hit Javelin, and then you can maybe start making plays across the map, which he has now.
I mean, to be fair as well, Exilern, his net worth is the exact same as the Leshrac, even though he's taken 3 towers.
Radiant's bottom tower
I'm a bit surprised actually, because I don't... Usually the Wind Ranger's not a hero that can get as much farm, but I guess he's very comfortable in the hero. We have seen him run this, previously in the DPC as well.
He's even getting a little bit lucky, getting the regen on the bottom side of the map. Very close to that Maelstrom, and he needs it before he can look to make any of these team fights happen.
Bottom lane, Xiao Yu drops the arena. The scan connector, so they had some information of Apes' heroes nearby, but there is no follow-up afterwards, so a tower defended. They smoked down to bottom as well, though, for Apes.
Yeah, it is time taken away from this Phantom Lance. You can just see a lot of the mad drawings on the map as well. It's clear that the main hero that's going to be the focus is MKS, and they just don't want to give him any time to be able to farm in on his own, and that's also the priority for RSG. Try and take as much attention away so that he does have a game. Able to go for a smoke here. Roger's got one available if they do want to. It's like they just want to try and get one more stack off before they go for it.
Regeneration.
Another missed spear from Xiaoyu. Maybe it was just for the creeps, actually. So I think we're... You were just mentioning the smoke, and it's going to be very difficult for RSG, though, to play aggressive in a game like this where you're up against the Monkey King. I mean, this hero is such a nuisance to verse.
Up against the Monkey King, and even like a big reason why you go for a smoke isn't just to get a kill. Like once you're 30 plus minutes on, if you can get a mid lane or if you can get a core, then it's worth it. But at this stage of the game, you don't want a team smoke to be able to pick off one hero. It needs to be a hero pick off into a tower, and their tower damage is really lacking. Like you need to use the focus fire to get any sorts of kills, and once you've done that, you're basically just tickling the towers right now. What can you do, brother?
Do you want to give it another crack? Because that was a...
I don't want to put on any accent that can be construed in a different way, so...
Just... This... Once... Who's... What is that emote?
Which one?
The Mamang Dai just all chatted.
Just the anime glasses, bro.
Ah, sorry, I'm not a weeb. Apologies, dude.
Imagine not being a weeb in 2022, honestly. You need to be more cultured. You're casting Southeast Asian Dota, my man.
Honestly, I know. I've actually considered becoming a weeb just for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Do it just...
That's very generous of you. That's my excuse as well.
Oh, is it your excuse? You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Not
yep.
you just actually no, I don't want to.
Go on.
I can't roast the potential fans that I'm still yet to accumulate. Weebs are us. Let's go, Weebs. We are one.
Mm-hmm.
One
Everyone
strong together.
All right.
And I'm trying to think of a really basic anime. One that's
Naruto,
like
Dragon Ball Z.
Dude, I'm a huge Naruto fan.
Oh, I was waiting for you to pronounce the Moon Studio tournament as well. I knew you would have said something like Kagura instead of Kagura.
Don't worry, I've said Kagura before, so it's just
it's like saying Sasuke instead of Sasuke.
Isn't it Sasuke?
Oh no. Normie's out.
No, Weeb's out. No, again. Me love me some Weebs. Okay,
Looks like there's just going to be a little bit of a lull in play coming through here for the next tiny bit. I mean, Delor, he's so close to being able to pick up both the BKB and have his level 12. So he wants to try and make the most out of that small timing. But RSG, with the double damage, have reached a bit of the timing for themselves as well. Unfortunately, with this smoke, it's not really going to connect on anything. On the top side, oftentimes when you take that tier 1 tower, it frees up this little area of space where you think you're safe because you've got a full HP tier 1 tower of your own for your team to TP to. But as for right now, Dreamer Selly's just farming inside his own triangle, so can end up falling down to this full-on rotation.
Gonna get one. Okay, Roger just standing in the lane, pops the smoke. I was maybe seeing if the Bane had a ward to drop down really aggressive. Sometimes we see Dire like putting a ward by the Radiant's offlane tier 1 tower. It's very easy to be able to set up, especially on a Bane. But they're not going to try and play that route. And, oh, okay,
Nice.
Dreamercell did actually go
Dreamercell is
blink.
Bottom
Cool.
tower.
Yeah, he had the Desolator queued up for the longest time, but you just need to get active. Like I said, you've hit this timing with the Death Prophet as well. She's got the BKB, she's got the level 12. You just got to dive in on those backlines, create as much havoc as possible, and allow Delul and a Mamang Dai to go to work.
Oops.
What up?
I was looking at the Wraith King's Arcana. I didn't think it'd put me into another screen. Oh, okay. Dreamercell, let's blink. Hopefully you don't catch anyone now.
One arrow, twice the
They're gonna
punch.
run to Roger. Honestly, not the most valuable target. Can they Roche off this kill? How long is he gonna be down for? Only level 6. 25 seconds?
I doubt it. Nah. Not quite.
I'd hate for
They
them to
just
do
wanted to
it.
keep some pressure up on the top side. I mean, UK unfortunately doesn't have any kind of observer wards on him at the moment. To be honest, their vision is kind of dark right now for the Apes,
Mangaya
right? Like,
finds the shackles. Great timing with the US
UK's there,
Scepter. Now
though.
with UK standing behind the Leshrac, they're going to have to offset this attempt. As Lim stalking on the high ground. And now they'll ping out Roche. They've dealt with the tier 1 push. They've also dealt with the double damage rune, and in they go.
and the focus fire. That, again, is such a huge portion of the damage component coming out right now. MKS can't fight yet. He needs that extra item. He's going for the Yasha now, but I feel like they're just playing for the later stages of the game. He's got it coming out to him.
They have Xiao Yu blink,
get the full
man.
manta. I don't think they can. Lim's great positioning.
Breaks the smoke. That is quite a sacrifice to the Monkey King, but he's not even going to drop his RSG. As soon as Aegis claim, they're going to retreat. What an arena, but the follow-up, it's there coming through from the double Fiends group off to the side, but now with all the health back from Delul, thanks to the exorcism, there will be no casualties. Some really nice individual play from RSG. Like that arena from Xiao Yu was perfect. He dropped the spear before the arena, which put Delul in an awkward position, but it was still where Apes, it was perfect timing. You got the Exo back, you had Omni Knight standing behind them, so a big win for Apes.
Yeah, he specifically made sure to spear him to the right side to try and get him away from the Omni Knight. Unfortunately, Omni was actually inside the arena as well, so he was still able to get off that Heavenly Grace and make sure he survived for that extra couple of seconds needed so that the Exo Spirits came back and healed him up to full.
Yeah, you usually say like, oh my lord, a 5-man arena? That's poggies. That's exactly what you're looking for, but no, honestly, you want the Omni Knight as far away as possible and not inside the arena.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I haven't tested out, like, I assume Tumblr's toy,
Radiant's
it
bottom
goes such a short
tower is
distance,
under
it can't
attack.
get over arena,
Yeah,
surely.
I doubt it.
But
Radiant's bottom tower
I
has
kind of want to
fallen.
see, now that we've seen that Xiao Yu is specifically looking to do that sort of play, like keep him away from the Omni Knight, whoever they're looking to use the Heavenly Grace onto. You have to go the Aether Lens, in my mind, on UK, and you've got to pray for some kind of cast range neutral item as well. They weren't lucky enough to get the Keen Optic early on, but to be able to use the Aether Lens plus, let's say, a Psychic Headband to even save from the other side of the arena would be enormous.
Do you have to mention that the fact that MKS and the position is in the net worth? He has caught up relatively well, and honestly, Mangaya, Xiao Yu. Okay, still gets a spear.
UK's there, though.
Fiends on cooldown, and with UK's positioning, they're able to offset some of the early damage, but it looks like the Aegis advantage will soon expire. They cannot stick around for round 2, as there's a double damage rune available for Mangaya if a fight does break out. Xiao Yu's considering it. He's got arena. They don't have the greatest vision, though.
Lim again, though, just constantly looking to play around these choke points, break any kind of smokes or aggressive attempts. This Dreamer Cell just putting more pressure on this top side. Delul has the BKB available again, has Exorcism again. They don't have Glyph. You've got a Leshrac pushing through. Oh, man. Even a Nether Shore, that's enormous.
Oh, Mangaya push back to the
keep away
T2
from
tower, but
UK.
UK once again locked inside the arena, but the Guardian Angel's going to do nothing as the power shot offers a way to burst the life of the Leshrac, and now they're on top of Delul. But a BKB, he can successfully TP out, but they have cancelled UK's thanks to the Nightmare. So in the end, RSG, really their first successful skirmish, as they will find 2.
Yeah, that was great by Xiao Yu. Again, just the order that he's doing things, making sure to create separation between the Omni Knight and the Leshrac, the key target that they want to break down. Unfortunately for UK, he wasn't able to get the purification off in time, which meant that, like you said, the power shot was able to clean up the rest of his life.
And you see how comfortable Xiao Yu is on this hero. Every time he's spearing, he's pressing S afterwards, he's cancelling his backswing of the spear, so that will give him just a point, millisecond couple faster of an arena usage, and that's super important in the Mars because all your abilities have a backswing. So Xiao Yu, it's just showing quite the reason why he's he's level 28 on the Mars. So yeah, incredibly comfortable in this hero.
Things starting to swing back, at least in terms of net worth for RSG. Have a look at the win probability. Gaben starts to favor them after that most recent gank coming through there, 53%. looks like he still does want to play a bit of this backline Dota as well with MKS. I really like that itemization as well, right? He's got the Aether Lens finished up already with the Yasha. He's got the Aghanim Shard. I think after that, not 100% sure if he goes Manta style or if he just goes straight into the Heart of Tarrasque.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Like, I like the...
Tower is under attack.
the thought process at the moment, because he doesn't want to be in the middle of the fight versus the Leshrac at all. So I wonder if Heart's the thought process. Even, I don't know if you go Skadi before those items, but it is a very good Skadi game once he feels like that's the route to go down.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I mean, he
attack.
could just Manta, right, and then just throw those illusions as well on top of whichever ones he's looking to throw out now with this freshly picked up Aghanim Shard, just to try and chip away at the mana, and then once they've got lower mana, then actually look to make an engagement happen.
But like you said though, RSG, it's felt like they've gotten out of probably the worst stage of this game, especially with the Leshrac ages, so they have to be very comfortable with the position they're in, and all their cores are scaling. Like Scyllane's 2-0-2. I really feel like the Wind Ranger needs to snowball to have a good position in the net worth graph, but the fact that Scyllane is where he is at the moment is just props to how comfortable he too is on the Wind Ranger.
Oh, liking the itemization too. Of course, the Blink Dagger, that's going to be used for the Omni Knight vast majority of the time, but even after that, playing for the late game, he knows Nullify is the next one to go for. And he doesn't need to worry about a Leshrac anymore as well, right? He's finished up that BKB.
I'm gonna smoke. It will run into Lim, who's being quite the nuisance on the tree line. That is a ambitious TP if I've ever seen one. So Lim's gonna go down, but he popped the smoke, and this will give Apes now an opportunity to go to their side of the map.
It does feel like we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. No team really wanting to push forward just yet, feeling like they're just short of a few of their key items. Dreamer Cell, he's got enough to be able to get active, but he wants that Aghanim Shard just to prevent the full mana burn into the death once the Phantom Lens. Like, they've got a sense of PL, how farmed he's going to be. He's going to go into that Manta style that I was kind of expecting, but he's almost level 18 as well, right? So it's just so many illusions that are coming around, so much potential for that mana to be removed. So I really like this. This is your Dreamer Cell to look to go into the Ag Shard. After that, has to be the BKB.
And I think for RSG, where we're seeing just how they're also funneling, man, Xiaobonbon is taking, he took a full wave off Scyllane, even a hard camp as well. So they're trying to get him closer to the Aghanims, which, do you feel like that's a big, yeah, is that an item that can break open this game?
Dire are scanning.
I mean, it's pretty good, right? Like, I mean, the only one that's going to be able to take it out is going to be the Wraith King and the Exorcism Spirits, right? So it's completely spell immune. So there's nothing that the Leshrac is going to be able to do to be able to counter it. So I kind of like it in that sense, because it takes away a lot of the attention that Dreamer Cell is wanting to have onto the backlines.
Look at this ward that RSG are playing with. They're going to see the Monkey King flying through the trees. An instant cut down of the tree. And now they still have a ward of the backline as well. Unfortunately for Xiaoyu, the Blink's on cooldown. UK is going to try and hide out in Invis, but they have the detection. And now with the Fiend's Grip from afar, they'll even lock onto Dreamer Cell. An exceptional fight for RSG is Vision. Once again, the focal point of how they can come out on top.
Vision wins the game. They were also able to get that Dark Portrait off, so you've got the Wraith King illusion for another 5 or so seconds, and it was just really great timing coming together. That was a Soulbind Fiend's Grip as well, so there wasn't even the potential for the Omni Knight to be able to save from that.
Yeah, they've got a couple Soulbind Fiend's Grips so far this game. And if it's going to continue to be like that, we're just seeing how the area denial is really difficult for Apes. This arena is causing so much chaos. We've seen... Has it been one arena that's only caught one person?
I think probably arena isn't even the thing to focus on this game, right? Because you've got the BKBs picked up on... actually, it's just the Death Prophet, I suppose. Kind of surprising, to be fair, that the Wraith King's going into the AC instead of the BKB for himself. I still feel like he can get kited around very effectively in a lot of these engagements and get his mana burn. But I want to just put more and more emphasis onto these spears. There were a few in the early game that missed the mark, but since then, Zhao Yu, just with how he's able to reposition a lot of these team fights in RSG's favor, even just pushing them further towards their own vision, is such a big win for them.
Are we pronouncing UK's name wrong?
I mean, we asked him in an interview, and he said UK.
That's right, I do remember. But that voice line,
I know, Uke.
Radiant's
Yeah.
middle tower
there's
has
just
fallen.
no pronunciation of the K.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'm always a bit worried, man. I always want to respect the players and their names. I want some
Bro,
young...
there's no more respect than literally asking the player, what do you prefer to be
I'm not-
called? He's like,
yeah.
UK.
I mean, sorry, besides UK, because like you said, we did ask him. But you know, I don't want some freaking 22-year-old Aussie white boy just butchering a name. I do it often if I'm casting Eastern Europe. Oh my god, I'm butchering Russian names.
Radiant's
I'm
middle tower is
Passing
under attack.
Southeast
I mean, you
Asia.
don't speak Cyrillic, to be fair.
Yeah, I know, but still, man, it doesn't sound good.
Speak Cyrillic, understand Cyrillic, my bad.
Even Mamang Daya, I don't know, I guess. People say it with a finesse.
Amangdaya.
Oh, alright, Silen. What is he queuing up? It's going to be the Nullify. So I do really like this, especially into Mamang Daya. And once again, Zhao, you look at the spear. Further away from UK. He's able to get the ultimate off, heavily mitigating Silen's damage. But the arena, what's going on? They popped X and they can't get him outside of the walls.
Yep. No one can chase outside of the DP, but
Oh, nice shields timing from Lim. Flies through the trees before the shackle lands. The Lord wants to fight. You popped Exo, but RSG playing with their toys right now, just making sure there's no opening for Apes, and that is a huge ultimate expended for naught.
What's Wraith King actually looking to buy here? He's got a... I mean, at the time he had a Demon Edge queued up, but just wanting to go into something else that's going to enable him to go on onto the backline. I think this is a bit of a mistake, though, right? You need the BKBs to be able to fight into the Grimstroke. You need
Dude, what is Zhao Yu doing to them this game? Another spear onto a tower. My guy is going 8 mode. As the Lul pops a BKB, they will be able to get away. He is just tearing them apart. Not again.
Using the focus fire onto the tower.
Is this bugged?
He'll still be able to
Hang
get
on.
a tier 2. What up?
What's going on with his bulwark spear? Because I know you could do it from behind a while ago, but I thought they patched that, and he's continuing to try this spear bulwark thing.
Is it even a bulwark thing? I thought you just have to press your own portrait and then it spears behind you or something like that.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, well...
Yeah, like you press the animated little...
What? Dreamers not cancelled his TP! They had no cancel, they had nothing for it! Oh no, that's where you drop the emote. That's a perfect timing to use Dreamer Cell's emote, slamming the desk in rage as the Wraith King goes down. It's his second death of the game, and they tip him. They know he made that mistake.
It's really significant, as well as opening up the Roshan pit for themselves. They do have a better Roshan lineup on the Apes, but
Dire's middle tower
now,
is under attack.
the Wraith King to have to worry about, and MKS as well. He's level 21, so he's having a fantastic time after a bit of a rough laning stage. Big credit goes to Delul, but ever since then it feels like the pressure was taken off, and that's due to a lot of these movements coming out from the rest of RSG. This feels like, if they're able to secure the win, a real team victory, no individual standout.
Who do you give the Ag shot to, Danog? Gale Force, let's go!
I would Gale Force it.
Fallen to the dark.
Surely. Maybe you can afford to give it to Zhao Yu just because he's been pretty on point with the spears so far.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yes,
under
hand that one
attack.
over, buddy. Come on now. Like, nah, no one deserves it.
Hoarding worth.
That's a filthy support play. Don't listen to him, guys. You can just hear...
I'm telling him to give it to a core hero.
You can hear
the
how
thing.
angry
Dire's
he
bottom
is.
tower is under attack.
It's the spite. Ugh,
Radiant's top
just
tower is
ripping
under
out every
attack.
single word. Gale
There we
Force,
go.
let's
Gives it next
go!
I mean, it's good. It's not global
Is it?
anymore, but
Is it good?
It's still... I think it's fine, just because again, it's just about creating space
Radiant's
away
top
from the
tower
target
has
that you're
fallen.
going on and the Omni Knight. So now you don't even need to. Oh,
What?
oh, you
Wait,
was
Dream
able to
Missile
land
again?
that as well.
Okay, he's got the reincarnation. Gale Force gonna push UK closer, but still a little bit awkward with their positioning. They have the arena for the second round as well. Xiao Yu's gonna lay down the ultimate, but you see there's no angle into the fight. They pop the Exo, but the damage starting to rack up. They have to respect this as the Phantom Lancer falling lower and lower. They'll deal with the first life at Apes. Beautiful fight for them. Can they set up for round 2? It's gonna be a mid-split Earth. MKS unable to make it to the high ground, but Sillin landing the
Oh, look at
shackles
that.
as now the Monkey King drops to the illusions, and now they want to go back in. They're onto Dreamer Cell's Monkey, and they bring him down. And now the Death Prophet's next on the agenda. Oh, Sillin, what a godlike play. The shackles into the Gale Force, just creating so much chaos.
It's not even just that. Xiao Bonbon used the Ink Swell onto a PL illusion as well, so allowed the real one to get on away, get a little bit of that extra regen back up, and then was able to re-engage without any fear in the world.
I really was not expecting RSG to be the team to hit first in regards to the barracks. Among Dire. Okay, nice short timing, but it's not even going to matter. Push back to the Phantom Lancer. And is it a stage of the game where this Diffuser Blade really hurts?
Radiant's middle barracks
I mean, this
has
is
fallen.
just exceptional
Radiant's
teamwork
middle
coming through
barracks
here from
has
RSG. This is the difference, right? You
Radiant's
can
top
tell that
tower
Dreamer
is
Cell
under attack.
hasn't been
Dyers
playing
are
consistently with this this Apes team. Not to say that he's been playing poorly by any stretch, right? But Seal is a big loss for them. But the fact that they played with Roger through all these third-party tournaments, they've got the cohesion down. They haven't changed up their strategy or their movements in any big way, and just their team fight just seems a level above.
It's a awkward position to be in now for Apes. I mean, this Phantom Lancer, even though we feel like he's been countered by the Leshrac, we just haven't really seen a game from Among Dire. 3-3-1 hero that can really take the game in his own hand at the early stages, but wasn't able to do so off the back of the Omni to enable him, and now playing this far
I mean,
behind.
For me, it still just comes back to the decision to not go a BKB super early on. Like, finally now, after these past few fights, Dreamer Cell as well as Mamang Daya are both going into it, right? But it feels like you've just had 0 item progression for the past 5+ minutes on both of these heroes. Even just now, right? Like, Dreamer Cell having 3,400 gold, you could very easily just sell the Quelling Blade and buy the Ogre Axe. It's going to help you farm
Radiant's
faster than
bottom
that as
tower
well.
is under
And
attack.
you have less unreliable gold too. He's almost hitting that level 20, so there is a slight potential for the cleave to start to become a factor in a lot of these engagements against the PL and the illusions. But such a commanding position now that RSG find themselves in.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Let's
under
finish the
attack.
heart on MKS as well.
Radiant's bottom
That's what he
tower has
needs. He's
fallen.
plenty tanky now that even a Leshrac isn't a
Radiant's
major
courier
concern.
has been killed.
Yeah, and you also have Refresher as well on Xiao Yu. So we've seen how annoying one arena can be. I'll add a second one on top of that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Up they go.
BKB completed on the Wraith King at least. Still a little short on Mamang Dire, I believe.
Hello?
Needed to sell a Null Talisman just to have the gold for it, but this is the last big defense. They've gone for a smoke. I wonder if they want to go for a big backline wrap, and yeah, that looks like the decision. They want to try and catch out Roger
Look at the
first.
vision. Lim's giving them so much information to the backline. Double Fiend script
Oh,
once
the double
again. They
Fiend.
need an answer, but Roger, he's got the Aghanims, so there's no way they can break the illusion. Lul just getting soloed down by Excellent. And now with the event diagram, controlling the Death Prophet along with the Leshrac. Dreamer Cell is going to have to do it on his own devices. But it looks like that's not a possibility. Roger holds back the Omni Knight while the rest of RSG can do the dirty work required to bring down the Wraith King. Soon to be a wipe and soon to be game 1 victories. RSG. It doesn't matter if they're playing with a stand-in. This game looking incredibly dominant from them.
Exceptional teamwork. I'm still going to go on record saying I far prefer the Apes draft, but RSG just executed theirs to perfection. They were just great. They took a lot of attention away from the PL, allowed him to get that early farm, made sure to prioritize the right heroes in a lot of these engagements, had the right areas of lockdown, moved the main target hero away from the Omni Knight. Everything was on point for them, and they're just continuing to impress.
That they are, man. Especially Xiao Yu, which is scary because, again, in the pre-game lobby, Dreamer Soul said, Xiao Yu, there is no chance you're getting your pain clear. And, well, if he doesn't get his pain go, what are you going to do? You're going to let the Mars through? Well, we just saw what Xiao Yu did on the Mars. That was an exceptional individual performance from Xiao Yu. It felt like there was a stage in that game where he was just landing every single spear. It was rough early on in the early game, but then the spears started to come online. It was just pushing him further and further away from any support that could protect them. And Xiao Yu, I don't know, Danog, do you ban the Mars over the Pango? Like, what's the choice now?
I mean, what was the other one that they banned? The Shadow Demon, right? It feels like this is becoming one of those teams, and it's not even like these niche heroes either, right? You're not playing up against Little Gun where you need to get rid of the Lycan and the Broodmother. These are very much meta heroes that you should be able to deal with, but RSG just seem to be able to execute on another level.
Yeah, they do. And for Apes, where they stand, and of course, but same with RSG, it's going to be the lads that are continuing their flawless run so far. They're yet to drop a series, and they're yet to drop a map. But Apes, they're still in it. They've only dropped one game. Let's see if they can stem the momentum from RSG and if they can hit back in our second game to force us to go the distance. Time will tell, as we'll see you guys after the break.